This is MRN Out Loud, brought to you by Hercules Tires.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Woody Kane. Thanks for joining us again for another edition of MRN Out Loud as we get set to head to Atlanta Motor Speedway this coming weekend. Cup Series Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. William Byron will be along a little bit later on to offer a preview of that event. You can hear it on the Performance Racing Network. Motor Racing Network has the Camping World Truck Series Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock Eastern Time with the Freight Auctions 200. To that end, Grant Enfinger will join us. He won this race a year ago. He's running a part-time schedule for Thorsport Racing this year, but after winning it last year, he's in a Thorsport Toyota coming up this Saturday at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll talk with Grant about that and his pig. All that is ahead on MRN Out Loud. Stay with us.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTires.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Grant Enfinger joins us now. He drives the number 98 Champion Power Equipment Tundra. That sounds a little unusual to say for Thorsport Racing since it was a different manufacturer last year. But Grant, heading back to a track at Atlanta where you won a year ago, only running a part-time schedule this year, but this has got to be one you've circled.
Definitely. Obviously, Atlanta is pretty close to the Charlotte area where I live now. It's also pretty close to the homeland back in Alabama. So it's always been an enjoyable race for me. That it's a place that's got a ton of character. You can move around the track quite a bit there. And you have to pace yourself. There's going to be comers and goers there. So yeah, Atlanta's one always circled on our list. But yeah, coming off a big win there last year. So hopefully we're able to do it again.
All right, now hold that thought because we're going to get back to Atlanta before we finish. But you mentioned your Alabama roots, where you come from. You were just there racing this weekend. Tell folks about the Rattler 250 at South Alabama Speedway because it's a huge deal in the super late model world.
Yeah, it's a big race down there in Alabama. The super late model, I think everybody's familiar with the Snowball Derby. With the Rattlers, another big marquee race down there. So I was fortunate enough to Archie St. Hilaire, who I drove for the Snowball this past year, was able to put together a deal with him and go down there and run the Rattler. Didn't have the best finish we were looking for. We came home 11th, but just a great time being down there with friends. Had a great turnout, great weather, great field of super late models. I think 33 cars took the green flag there yesterday or on Sunday, I should say. But yeah, great race. Congratulations to a fellow Thorsport teammate now, Ty Majeski on the big win there.
Boy, it's been a while since we've been able to say great weather, great fans, all those things together at the same time, right?
Exactly. So it was just an awesome experience. It's kind of like a pre-pandemic feel out there.
At the first of the year, it was announced that you would be part-time with Thorsport this season. You would be sharing that ride. And since then, you've done the Rattler. You've also run the Las Vegas race in the Camping World Truck Series, although not for Thorsport. Tell me about piecing your schedule together with now the gaps that you've come up with here in the beginning of the year. How have you filled those up?
Yeah, there's definitely, like you mentioned, a few gaps in my schedule, but I don't want to stay home. I love my wife, but I don't want to be here at the house. So I want to be racing. So, life is pretty fluid right now on the racing scene. So just gonna kind of, try to piece together some other one-off races or whatever we can do. And there is some still hope to run some more races at Thorsport. So I have 11 more races scheduled currently in the 98 truck, but there's possibilities of adding to that schedule. So just gonna see how everything goes and make the most of the opportunity that I have here.
The Camping World element was pretty interesting to me at Las Vegas because you were one of several guys who wound up carrying the Camping World colors. Marcus Lemonis kind of issued I don't know if you'd call it a challenge, but encouraged some guys to jump on board for that race, saying he would help out. Explain how all that worked and how did we wind up with, what was it, 10 Camping World trucks?
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I've never seen anything quite like that. But Marcus had reached out to me after I was not at the Daytona Road Course, and kind of asked me the situation and how he could help, and wanted to do some things to try to get us back to full-time status. So we're still working on a lot of those things. They've able to put some stuff together with Champion Power Equipment that has helped a lot of people, and has also helped in our racing endeavors. So yeah, we're going to have Champion Power Equipment back on the truck this weekend in Atlanta. Camping World's gonna be on there as well. So just thank you to all those guys for supporting us and sticking behind us.
Now, what did he do? I think it was like $10,000 to wrap the truck, and then more based on how you performed in the race. Was that it?
So the Las Vegas deal, he had basically challenged a lot of the drivers out there to, hey, if you wrap your truck in the Camping World colors, I think the number was $15,000 is what he would give to any truck that out there that would wrap those colors. And then yeah, if you finish the top 10, it's an additional $10,000, and a top 5 was additional as well. So he spent some money out there in Las Vegas, but I'd say everybody probably got their money's worth on that deal. It brought a lot of attention to our sport, and obviously the truck series itself. And Marcus has done this, but he's done a lot over the last few years to get energy back in our sport, and put up different bounties and different challenges and crew bonuses. Fortunately, at Thorsport Racing, we've been able to take some of those bounties and those bonuses there. Crafton, when he was able to win the championship a couple years ago, that was a big bonus to the crew guys. Actually, my win at Atlanta last year, there was a $25,000 bonus to the crew guys. So he does a lot for the support. Does a lot for the sport. That's getting tough to say. But yeah, thank you to him, but also thank you to our Champion Power Equipment guys and all the guys that get us there.
Now, you mentioned what he's doing for the sport, and that has sort of an old school feel to it. Another thing that has a great history in the sport is helping out in time of need. Now, I saw Marcus Lemonis with a bunch of social media, the head guy at Camping World, sponsor of the Truck Series, when the Texas storm hit, the winter storm hit, and so many people were without power and water. And you were one of the guys who stepped up to try and help with Champion Power Equipment. He was trying to get water. You were trying to help get power. How did all that work out and come together?
Yeah, obviously there's already been a strong relationship with Camping World and Champion Power Equipment, so a lot of those relationships were already there. But yeah, they're able to facilitate some of those and get extra generators sent down to Texas when they needed it. It was definitely a time of dire emergency. So fortunate to be able to be on the side of the good ones and the guys trying to support that. Also, our friends at Blue Spring Living Water, they were able to send some water out there as well to help everybody in need. So yeah, it's good to be on the giving end of some of that, and I don't feel like I had any part of that, but I definitely be great to be on the side of Champion Power Equipment and those great partners that we have.
Kind of a middleman, but that's the way the sport works. Everybody trying to find a way to help out, and that's certainly a tradition in NASCAR. Let's talk about a little fun stuff. You might be the only guy I know that has a pig. Tell me about Wilbur.
Wilbur is happy, and I don't know if everybody in the Charlotte area is happy right now because it's kind of raining, and Wilbur doesn't actually like it when it's currently raining, but he likes the mud. So whenever it dries up here, he's going to have a big old time. Yeah, he's definitely gotten a lot bigger, a lot nastier since we've had him for about a year and a half. So I do feel like the last few months he's started to he's not growing as rapidly as he was. So he started out as kind of a little guy, and now he's a lot bigger guy, and I'm hoping that this trend of him not growing so fast continues.
How did this happen in the beginning? Were you all just sitting around the kitchen table one day and said, "I know, let's get a pig"? How did that happen?
That's not the case at all. So I live in Kannapolis, and we're kind of in the sticks a little bit, and there was 3 potbelly pigs just running freely for a few weeks, running across the road, and our neighbors were worried they were going to get hit. And anyway, so we commandeered some, and then the owners came back, and I was able to find the owners. They came back, and then lo and behold, Wilbur came back anyway. And so I called the owner this time. I was like, hey, I feel like Wilbur wants to be part of our family. You good with us keeping him? And he was. So now he's an Enfinger.
That's fantastic. So how much does he weigh?
I don't know. I'd say he's
Kind of
over
tough to get him on a
110 pounds.
scale, right?
Yeah. He doesn't like to be picked up. I will every once in a while, but he's probably around the 100-pound marker now.
Wow, that's impressive. Pretty stout for a pig. But now let's focus back on racing this weekend. Headed to Atlanta. One of the things you always hear about that place is how abrasive that racing surface is and how it chews up on tires. For those of us who don't drive race vehicles for a living, tell me what that feels like and how quickly you notice it.
It's incredible, and honestly, from a race, from a driver's standpoint, anyway, you love this place because so many of those places they're about track position and having good pit stops and good restarts and getting out in front. Well, Atlanta isn't so much the case. You have options. If you restart 20th, but you got 10 lap fresher tires, you can make it to the front in a hurry. The tires wear out at such a rapid pace that the asphalt is so abrasive there. But that is one aspect of it. But the other aspect is you can go from the bottom to the top and everywhere in between. So there's a lot of character in Atlanta. There's a lot of bumps. There's a really bad bump off of turn 2. You have to be pointed straight, and a lot of times you still have to lift anyway coming out of 2. Which is a racer on a mile and a half. That the last thing you want to do is lift coming off the corner, but sometimes you just have to there at Atlanta. But man, it's a fun place. Restarts, on the outside lane are treacherous. There's just no grip to get going. I don't think we see any other track on the circuit that's as bad to restart in as the second groove at Atlanta. So hopefully you're able to choose the bottom. I think with this choose rule, I think you're going to see a lot of different things going in Atlanta. I think it's going to affect it more here than probably we've seen anywhere in the past.
Yeah, that's been a fun addition to the sport for sure. Let's finish with this, Grant. You said you have 11 more Thorsport races coming up. What's next there, and what's next not necessarily in the Thorsport truck?
Yeah, really, the 11 races at Thorsport is the only thing I know for sure. But like I told you earlier, I don't want to be sitting at home. So who knows what'll come about next. But yeah, with Champion Power Equipment and all the 98 boys this weekend in Atlanta, but also the following week at the Bristol Dirt Race. So obviously that's going to be interesting. And also the next Truck Series race, which is a few weeks after that at Richmond, which is another place we were able to win at last year. So I know J-Rod, our crew chief there on this 98 truck, he's got everything tuned up. We put a lot of effort into these few races. So hopefully we can go out there and do what we did last year.
All right, Grant, we appreciate your time. Good luck in Atlanta. And the next 3 races, it sounds like, going to be a wildly different course for going to those 3 different tracks. We'll look forward to watching that number 98 Champion Power Equipment machine on the track.
Thanks so much. And thank you to Duke and Rhonda Thorson and Mike Curb and Curb Records and everybody that allows us to do this. Thank you, Woody.
You bet. All right, when we come back, we'll hear from William Byron. He'll give us an Atlanta preview on the Cup side.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTires.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Come back east and head to Atlanta, a place that all drivers seem to love because of that worn-out surface.
Yeah, Atlanta's tough. I mean, it's a little bit easier at this time of year when it's a little colder outside, but it's not easy ever to run there. So you're going to have a car that can do all the right things. And luckily, I think Homestead will be similar. So you're going to get an idea after Homestead of what you need in the car. But yeah, it's a tough track. I mean, obviously Kevin Harvick's been super fast there, and it's going to be hard to compete with him. There's no doubt. So, everyone's chasing those guys, and it's kind of like, that's his track. So you got to go out there and try to learn from him.
How quickly do you notice the tires falling off at a place with an abrasive surface like that?
I mean, you notice it really every corner. You might have a couple laps that are good, and the tires feel the same, but then after that, each corner is just less and less grip. So it's a challenge just to keep your car straight. And then on top of that, you're racing guys, and as soon as guys take away, your lane, it becomes really hard to find another lane to be as fast in. So it's all very difficult.
Sir, are you aware you were going 40 miles an hour? This is a residential area.
Sure, but I'm on my lawnmower? Wait, am I getting a ticket?
No, I've just never seen anyone top 9 miles an hour on one of those bad boys. And mow their entire lawn in 30 seconds? What got into you?
Well, it did fuel up at Sunoco this morning.
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. We've been doing it for American racing for over 50 years. Fuel your best.
Don't forget, coming up this weekend, the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. Performance Racing Network has coverage from Atlanta Motor Speedway, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, Sunday afternoon. Motor Racing Network has the Camping World Truck Series. That race comes your way at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, Saturday afternoon. Grant Enfinger on the program. Thanks to him for joining us and offering his insights on the season and the race coming up this weekend, as well as William Byron for offering us a preview of the Cup Series race on Sunday. I'm Woody Kane, and we'll see you right back here next week for another edition of MRN Out Loud.